Hello everyone and welcome to another Pokemon Pocket video. Today I'm going to be showing you the deck that I've been using all day to farm the special PvP event that's on now. We can jump into what the PvP event is in a minute, but for now let's just check out the deck. What I decided to do was to play a deck I kind of enjoyed before this event came out. Which was Machamp Dugtrio with a Kangaskhan in there as backup. And not only is this deck just kind of fun and I think actually pretty slept on right now as the sort of Machamp Dugtrio combo, it's also quite good into the PvP event. So very quickly, the PvP event is actually just a special event that's come up. We've got, I think, 2 weeks or so, maybe 3, to be able to farm wins in this separate PvP event queue. And as you can imagine, people are gonna like. I don't really like it, but I use the phrase "try hard." So you're seeing a lot, at least on day one, of the popular meta decks. Two of them being, of course, the dreaded Mewtwo and Pikachu. This deck, whilst of course can be a little bit tricky to deal with Mewtwo, it is winnable because without a Giovanni, Machamp can tank a Mewtwo hit. And also the idea is to soften up Mewtwo and then bring the Machamp in, knock it out, and then maybe have a Sabrina or something to deal with what's next. So that matchup's winnable. Not the best matchup in the world, of course, but very winnable. Whereas the Pikachu matchup, we just kind of stomp, honestly. So it's pretty nice, as well as having a good spread on all the other matchups as well. You're not particularly overly weak to anything with this list, I found, except to like I said, Mewtwo can be a little bit tricky. So let's get on with the deck list. I've called the deck Smash and Grab because you just want to be fast and just punch them in the face. And to start it off, we of course have the 2 Machop, 2 Machoke, and then, sorry for my different artworks, and 2 Machamp EX. If you don't have the Machamp EX, and you've got everything else, you can 100% try and go with normal Machamps. You could maybe try and do the Mankey with the new Mankey and the Primeape approach. But really, for me, Machamp has the sort of double benefit of it hits pretty hard. 3 energy, 120 damage is good, especially with the Giovannis that we'll get to in a minute. But the 180 health means he tanks hits like an absolute champ. And like I said, without Giovanni, he can actually tank a Mewtwo hit. He just eats electric hits most of the time from most things. Again, you want to be going a little bit faster against the Charizard, so that's something you've got to watch out for. But in general, he's super tanky and can more often than not get 2 attacks off, and suddenly when you can deal 120 twice, you really just chomp a lot of the meta right now. So he's definitely the backbone. And then we have 2 Digletts and a Dugtrio, and I'll tell you right now, 1 Dugtrio 2-shot to Pikachu EX for 1 energy, which is very, very good. And the amount of games I've had where Dig just keeps proccing and you're buying so much time to get your Machamp ready is huge, honestly. You can win games off the back of Dugtrio. It is extremely, extremely strong, and again, I think another underplayed Pokemon. It does only have 70 HP, so it can get like pushed around a little bit early, but the idea is you push in some damage and you're mainly just buying time to get your Machamp online. On that note as well, I did end up having room for 1 Kangaskhan. Again, Kangaskhan, it's not my favorite Pokemon at all. I've kind of talked bad about it in the past, but I think in this deck, where, again, for a very low energy requirement of 1, you can just get it in and let it tank while you build up your Machamp, find your Dugtrio, and so on. And when you are flipping heads, even if you get to deal 30, maybe 60, maybe more, over the course of just a couple of turns that it normally lives, it can be really strong. And one of the benefits this deck has is it's pretty good going first or second. If you go first, the Diglett gets to evolve into Dugtrio on your first attacking turn, and then just hit Dig for 40, which is very, very strong, so that's fine. And going second, hit Diglett once and then transform into Dugtrio after, that's also fine. But going second, you have Kangaskhan, and to a much lesser extent, of course, Machop, that can deal pretty good damage, right, and start to get the Machoke rolling. I have won games where I just had a Machop on the board all game, and then just Machop hit, evolve, hit, evolve, hit, and it's just kind of strong. So that is possible as well. But yeah, Kangaskhan gives us that leeway between going first and second and having good starter Pokemon to use. Next up, to fill out the trainer cards, we have 1 potion, 1 X speed. X speed is a break in case of emergency kind of scenario, and with Kangaskhan and Machamp being 3 cost energy to retreat, and also the Machamp being 2 cost to retreat is probably the biggest one, the X speed can really just help us get out of some sticky situations. Next up, we have, of course, 2 Pokeball, 2 Professor's Research, 2 Giovanni, and 1 Erica. The reason with the Giovannis is that outside of Machamp, and I'll get to that in a minute, the Dugtrio and Kangaskhan don't necessarily put out super high damage, and having double Giovanni really gives you some nice reach on certain matchups. So it's really, really good. And then for Machamp specifically, against the Pikachu deck, you have a type advantage against everything apart from Zapdos normally. However, if they play Zapdos to try and buy some time, your Machamp hits for 120, Zapdos has 130 health, and you can Giovanni it, and they never expect it. So you Giovanni it, Machamp knocks it out, and suddenly you've either won, or you're in a fantastic spot to want to deal with 1 more Pokemon. So really, really strong. And then the one Sabrina, guess what? It's Sabrina. It's very good. There are worlds where you could be a bit riskier, take out the X speed, put in another Sabrina. You could take out the potion, but again, I think with Dugtrio, Kangaskhan, and Machamp, all fairly tanky Pokemon, that the potion can really help you by 1 more turn, sort of pushing yourself out of those break points that you really have to play around in the game. So this is my build. I've had a great time with it. Like I said, in the PvP event, we've done pretty well. Let me just check where I'm up to here. In the PvP event, it's been doing really well for us. We're already on, I think, there you go, 29 wins. And I've only played this deck. And like I said, it's winnable, but difficult versus Mewtwo. You crush Pikachu, and you're good against, like, everything else, right? So, like, the numbers just work for me, and I enjoy playing the deck. So, yeah, we'll play a couple of games, see how it goes. And, yeah, I hope you guys try the list. It's super, super fun. Okay, here we go. We are going to be going first, so we probably do want a Diglett here. We didn't get it, and we get Kangaskhan instead. They are electric, though. We do have the Pokeball and the Dugtrios. This would have been so, so good if we actually had a Diglett. This would probably be, like, the best start possible. Diglett going first with Dugtrio. We can start really beating up their starters. Let's have a look. Oh, Pink Urchin, sorry. Okay, we could really do with a Diglett. Let's have a little look-see. We got Machamp. Not the worst. We do have the line here, so it's not so bad. Let's see. It's a tough decision now whether we actually look at trying to just go straight to, like, Blitz in the Machoke or not. They don't have any base to fill the bench. Well, they'll have one now, obviously, but okay, there's the Pikachu. I'm guessing they're going to energy the PikachuEX. Makes sense, okay. So I think because of that, oh, we have Diglett as well. Okay. This is where it gets really tricky. I think I'm supposed to just go Machoke here. And just go all in onto Machamp, because I think that will just get us the win, especially because we have the Diglett to stop the potential Sabrina. And who knows, if they Sabrina the Diglett in, don't do anything to it, and we evolve it, we might take a turn to put an energy on Dugtrio. They're just going to X-speed it in. Okay, do they have anything to fill the bench with, though? This is how you can prey on Pikachu as well, like when they get these kind of rough starts. Like, at the moment, they're dealing 30, yeah, which is nothing. That's going to be pretty nice. Ooh, this Sabrina might be kind of good. We go Dugtrio here. Get the Machamp cooking. Put the energy on him. I think we're just going all in on Machamp. And I think I want to Sabrina now, honestly. If we Sabrina, then they either have another X speed or it's going to cost them an energy. And Pink Urchin, I think, is pretty strong. Paralyze is super good in the game. However, I don't know if they want to be putting energy on this at this point in the game. If they have Giovanni, they can knock out the Kangaskhan, but I feel like that's just game. Oh, they are going to wait. Okay, that's kind of funny. So now I just put an energy on the Kangaskhan. We can draw with the Pokeball. And we have another Machamp. Do we even want the Machamp down? Probably not, honestly. We'll just Dizzy Punch then. If they want to wait, that's fine. So we hit nothing. Yeah, this really isn't a big deal now. I don't think we really have to worry about anything, honestly. Oh yeah, we just do this now, right? Oh no, we can't do this. That's fine. We'll just put one onto the Machamp. It's not a big deal. If this survives, we can bring it back next turn. But I think we're just fine. Because like I said, Machamp doesn't get beat here. And we like one-shot the Pikachus with Machamp. And because we've not put anything else on the bench, we aren't weak to Sabrina now. Because they can knock out these two. It's not really a big deal if they want to Sabrina it. But we just go Machamp, bang, job done. And this is kind of what we want. This is what you want on this PvP event. You want a matchup you think is going to be very common. You want to be good into that matchup, which is why this deck kind of exists right now. There's the Sabrina. We're just putting Dugtrio. We don't mind Dugtrio if they paralyze, whatever. If they don't paralyze, whatever. It doesn't really matter because, like I said, we've sort of created the Triforce of you have to actually knock out all of these Pokemon to win the game. And Machamp solos. If they miss on this, it wouldn't be too bad because they kind of have to bring in something strong. Yeah, they do miss. Okay, perfect. This is A-okay. And there you go. There's the concede. And that's as simple as it is. Machamp gets online. Kangaskhan's big enough to tank. Dugtrio can tank whilst putting out pressure if you get the heads. It just does the job, right? And that was a very simple game. We didn't have to do much thinking with that one. Okay, here we go. We are against Electric again, actually. Okay. What are we? We're going first. So this is not really the opening we want. But there's a world, okay? There's a world where we survive this and Machamp just pushes through for us. Oh, this might not be the world. Double Blitzel and a PikachuEX. Okay. I'm going to say this is unfortunate at best. So we really want X speed this turn. If we have X speed, we've got a chance. Okay, or another Machamp. That's also fine. Okay, we're back in the game. It's fine. We might be okay. So we go Diglett here, Machamp here. And now we have not only the protection versus Sabrina, but we also have it like the backup Machamp, right? To start giving it energy and start leveling it up. They have the Zapdos as well. Not too much of a big deal. Got to be a little bit worried about Zebstrika, honestly. Okay, so we want Machoke. And I think this is, again, another game where right now you just decide that, okay, my other Pokemon are likely not getting the job done here because we're a little bit slow. Instead, we'll just say all in. And you know what I'll do? I'll Sabrina now to make them use an X speed if they have it. If they don't have the X speed, they're going to have to just, I don't know, swap into Blitzel and use an attack, which is rubbish for them, right? So we're just going to end turn and hope we can buy enough time. But sometimes we only run one Sabrina, but in this deck, we kind of one-shot everything, so we don't necessarily need to hold on to it. Are they going to put the energy on here and hit the Machoke, maybe? That's probably correct for them, honestly. Makes sense. We can recover this, though. It shouldn't be the end of the world. Okay, Professor Research. I'm going to Machamp. And weirdly enough, I'm honestly not sure whether we're supposed to do this, because then we never deal with the Zeb Striker. I think we do this and just punch it and see what they do. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Because if they get the Pikachu in, we should have enough time. It's a little bit tricky. Zeb Striker is very annoying. If you're struggling with Pokemon to put in a Pika deck, you can't really go that far wrong with Zeb Striker because it puts your opponent in awkward spots sometimes. Now they have two. Okay. They are going to X-Speed out. So Pikachu's going to knock this out. We put Dugtrio in. They only have one card. Hopefully it's not Sabrina. But we had to kind of force this situation. Because if we put another energy on Machamp, they just Zeb Striker it again. And then it gets us into trouble, basically. But we just need to position ourselves well. So we go Dugtrio here. Not the end of the world. Pika doesn't normally run EX. So I think this turn's pretty easy. Not EX, sorry. I meant red card. I don't know why I said EX. I think if they were smart, they'd retreat the Pikachu. And put in a Zeb Striker, maybe. Or even, maybe the Zapdos, but then that just lets me just do Dugtrio things, so I'm not sure how good that actually is. If we draw X-Speed, though, we pretty much just won. And this is the kind of tricky spot they're in now, because they know Machamp's going to be online next turn. So they do put the Zeb Striker in. Okay. Which is interesting. I think the Zapdos had to go in. Because we can just energy this Dugtrio. We potion this just to use it, just in case. And now we hit the dig with the Dugtrio. This could still roll heads and buy us more time. But honestly, if it doesn't matter. We did get heads. So now they've got to work out what they want to do. Because I don't think they get in a very good spot. I think they play, weirdly enough, and this is a funny play, because decks don't normally run like double Zeb Striker. But you could put the other Zeb Striker in. Yeah, there you go. Okay, fair enough. But I think we're still okay because of the Giovanni. Zeb Striker's like a weird, like, anti-Dugtrio card. It's kind of amusing. Oh. Okay. Isn't this still fine? Doesn't this just suit us? I think we just win, don't we? So they deal 30. They can only deal 90 or 100. Oh, there's the X speed as well. That's funny. But I think we're fine, right? We just knock this out. No problem. Pikachu's not going to deal much because I don't think they have any Pokemon left. Or any, you know, maybe they've got one. But the odds on those two both being electric Pokemon, I think, are low. And I think they're just stuck. Yeah, they're going to put the Zapdos in. And this is what I was talking about. Because we have the Giovanni and most Pika decks don't run red card, we just wait for this to happen, right? So their Zapdos now, they hope, is buying them some time. So they can peck me for 20. It's a good setup. It really is. My opponents played very well here. Because they peck, put me to 90. Oh. Oh, okay. That wasn't what I was expecting, if I'm honest. That's the last card. I thought the peck, and then hope Zapdos lives, and then they bring in Pika and go, right? Isn't that the plan? It doesn't matter anyway, because we're all set up, good to go. There's the second Giovanni. There's a reason we run two. We kind of always want one with us. And we get to use them pretty freely here. We didn't have to use the X speed, but whatever. We'll just bring this in. Machamp hits for 120. We Giovanni. We've prepped for this. We know this is how we really beat this deck. They think they're safe with the Zapdos. They're not, and they concede. So yeah, there you go. There's a little guide on how to beat up on some Pikachu. And as I said, the Mewtwo matchup's kind of difficult, but winnable for sure. But try and play aggressive. But all the other matchups, you know, are pretty strong. Maybe Venusaur might do okay versus this, but I'll be honest, I've not run into a single Venusaur in about 8 hours of playing this event. So yeah, there you go. Good luck with the games. I hope you do well. Let me know if you try out this deck and see how it performs. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.